Hi, I'm Claudia from Automation Anywhere, and I am here with Bonnie Dallum from Cargill, and it's day 2 of Imagine. Really happy to have you join us and take some time out to share some of your insights and experiences with us today. Why don't we get started, Bonnie? Just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do over at Cargill.
Yeah, thank you. So I am the Global Intelligent Automation Center of Excellence lead. That's a mouthful. But I basically lead the COE for Cargill. We have 5 capabilities that we are responsible for. So beyond process automation, we have intelligent document processing. We also own digital signatures, conversational AI, and now Gen AI, which is, as you know, the hot topic. And so we are kicking off our COE for that program as well.
Wonderful. And you have been an Automation Anywhere customer for a while.
Correct.
Can you take us back a little bit and kind of unpack the journey that Cargill has been on with Automation Anywhere? Some of the things that you've been able to accomplish and some of the use cases that you've been able to tackle.
One of the reasons that Cargill chose Automation Anywhere was because of cybersecurity. So we have a lot of confidential data between our suppliers and our customers. We have very large customers like McDonald's, like Walmart, Nestle. I met Nestle here driving the car the other day, and those are just a few of the big ones. But it is very important for us to keep our customer data and our supplier data confidential. So that was one of the main reasons we chose Automation Anywhere years ago. Since then, we have built out, I think we're at about 265 bots in production.
Wow.
And we build about 50 per year is what we commit to do. We're a federated model, and so the Center of Excellence doesn't deliver all of them. We work with different groups within Cargill, but we establish the platform, we provide the licenses. We also have a very strict governance framework that follows our organizational IT standards and policies. So,
I mean, you're obviously one of the more mature automation programs that we have here today, which is wonderful. If you were to take a guess, and maybe you have a clear count, how many folks across Cargill do you have creating automations?
I would say between 50 and 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they all, professionally trained developers? Do you have citizen developers? What's the strategy there?
Yeah, so most of the developers are within the IT department,
Okay.
And are trained. We also provide training for users, and we have people on my team that can help out at any time. If it's a more comprehensive use case, then we will take it on ourselves. But we do have one group outside of IT, that's our process excellence team, and they do some of the automations for like your standard finance processes, and they work on so those would be more business analysts versus IT developers.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about some of the processes or transformations that you've been able to deliver with Automation Anywhere.
That's a very loaded question because since we're a global COE, we don't focus on just finance or just HR. We are across the board. And Cargill, we're in 70 different countries. And so when you think about even like one process, like maybe it's an order management process, we don't have just one order management process. We have dozens. And so that's kind of, it's a very comprehensive organization because we work with so many different suppliers and so many different customers and different regions that have to follow laws and regulations within that particular region. So everything from finance to HR to order management to IT, we're all across the board.
Yeah. And what are the outcomes that you focus on? For a lot of companies, it's time. For other companies, it's, experience.
Yeah.
What is the most important thing for Cargill as you're defining your automation roadmap?
Well, you just hit a hot button.
Okay.
Because when I came on board to Cargill, the focus was on FTE savings. And I said, no, there's a lot of additional benefits that go outside of FTE savings or hours saved. And I've actually banned the term FTE savings. I said that gives a negative connotation.
Yeah.
And that's not what our
Absolutely.
goal is. Our goal is not to get rid of FTE. And we actually have never laid anyone off. by automating a process. So the resources, what we say is we shift the resources so that they can be working on more challenging tasks versus a mundane task. But what we are currently working on is a metrics model of how do we capture KPIs from additional metrics that go beyond hours saved. And so that might mean data accuracy, that might mean compliance, sustainability metrics, revenue growth, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction. We have just a huge program that we're working on right now to capture some of those additional metrics that we want to, and not only measure from like the beginning analysis of should we do this or not, because about 50% of our requests get rejected. So I say we have 265 bots in production. We have hundreds of requests that have been rejected that we will not work on because it's not worth the investment. So I said, we've got to capture additional metrics, and then how do we also measure after the fact, after a bot has been implemented or migrated into production? How do we continue to monitor that so that it continues to give the results back to our customers and our clients?
Yeah, it's incredibly important. All of these investments should be yielding the right ROI that's strategic for every company. I'm curious to hear what you're excited about and what you're going to be, again, taking back to your manager.
Well, we're part of the Pathfinder program. I'm curious about Copilot. And then I spoke with a few of the executives while I've been here about how do we integrate Gen AI with automation, because that is such a frenzy right now. And we're trying to kind of pull the reins in at Cargill. So I lead the Center of Excellence, but we have so many vendors reaching out to us about Gen AI. And I say, I don't have the capacity to meet with all these different vendors, and nor does any of the COE members. And I mentioned to the executives yesterday, I said, listen, I consider this a partnership. I don't consider you a software vendor. I consider you a strategic partner. So I hold weekly meetings on Friday for the COE, for Gen AI specifically. If a random vendor contacts me, they're not invited to the meeting. If you contact me, you're invited to the meeting.
There's certainly so much happening in the market right now. Every minute you refresh your browser, there's a new vendor popping up. And we like to think we're able to help consolidate and simplify all of that noise in the market and give a much clearer path to integration of generative AI across your automation.
Right.
I'm curious, now that you oversee generative AI within Cargill, we're hearing a lot about what does the evolution of the automation function look like? Is it going to become AI first? Is it going to remain automation first with AI? I know that's a bit of a philosophical question, but how do you see it as generative AI continues to?
Gen AI is here to stay. We have to address it today. What I want to avoid is doing things piecemeal. So I have, the 5 capabilities that I mentioned at the beginning. I don't want to go get vendors for each one of those capabilities. How do we work to have one platform? And that hopefully would include Gen AI. That's what I'm looking for, and to be very streamlined, because my concern is if we start pulling in a bunch of different vendors for different capabilities, and then we have upgrades in the future, something's going to break.
Yeah.
There are going to be interfaces that break, and so I'd rather keep it very streamlined so that we're not going to run into those challenges down the road.
We're pleased to continue to partner with you and with Cargill and help you scale your program.
Thank you.
So
it was nice to meet you too.
You as well.
All right.
All right. Enjoy the rest of Imagine.